What's going on, everybody? It's Coach JJ with NA Prep, and I just wanted to take another quick second just to make sure that we're all very clear on the difference between Team West and the development program and our evaluation process. It's really important that as we start to grow in the way we're growing now, that we have a very strong foundation of our evaluation and selection process. I personally want to get away from all the good old boy stuff, and I want to make sure that when kids come, they earn it. It's not just given to them. I don't think parents should expect anything. I don't think anybody should expect that my kid's on the team. I think that it's something that you and your kids go through the process every time you come into a program. I tell our kids when they start out at our evaluations, they start out as a 0. Their score is a 0, and whatever they do from the minute they step on the ice will depict how far their score goes up to a maximum of 100. So I just want to be very clear with that in a sense, I hate to say it this way, but there's no freebies. I've met a lot of friends through this. I know that my son has met, my family has met a lot of friends through this, but there is no freebies at all. And I just want to be really clear about without offending anybody. For the development team, it is all done through evaluations, tryouts, timing, and testing. And that's how those kids are placed on those teams. So I just wanted to be very clear. Now, running back through this really quick, I want to make sure you understand that Team West and the development team are completely two different animals in a sense. Team West is all a select team. So all we do with Team West is coaches that are on our coaching panel and the coaches that are coaching on our bench, they have been in a region where most of these guys where they coach, and they will select anywhere from 5 to 8 kids from their community who they felt has earned the opportunity to come and play for the select team. And I guess you can, in a sense, say a select team is more like an all-star team, like you're nominated to play because of what you've done in the season, which I think is extremely important for that top 10% of the kids to go and play with the other top 10%. We don't really have any programs for the top 10% in our region that allows for those things. And I thought it would be something really special as a congratulations on a great season. Even though there's going to be so many players out there who have a great year, we have our hands tied with our selection of anywhere from 5 to 8 players per our region. And it all depends on our numbers, and all of us coaches get together and we discuss what players we believe have earned the right to come to this opportunity. So I just wanted to let you guys understand that's what Team West is. It is a selection-only team. Now, the development team is not a selection team as opposed to you're not picked on your merit just from your season and what you've done during the year. What you're selected on in the development team is how you've done at our tryouts and our evaluation camp. What you did during the season, we don't look at that at all. We look at what you are as a player, and we try to get all these players together in the same skill set and develop them throughout the spring. And that is our philosophy with that development team. So that is done by pure evaluations only. You have to come to one of the 3 evaluations that we put on if you want to play development, if you want to play spring hockey with the development teams. Now, here this gets a little bit confusing. So what I will say is that we've had a lot of calls about people who can't make these tryouts, people who can't, and I don't have a good answer for that. All I know is that we've gone above and beyond to get 3 additional evaluation skates. I mean, you can look anywhere across the state and there is usually one weekend hosted by these teams, and that is it to be evaluated so that you can be placed on the team. So there are a couple exceptions. The main exception is for players that are injured. So there is a player that is injured right now currently, and they're not predicted to be back in until at least 6 weeks. So he's going to probably miss most of the tryouts, if not all of them. And so what we've done for those kids who are injured, or you can say you're out of town or you couldn't make any of those 3, then you can be invited to our first practice and come out there and skate with the team, and then the coaches on the ice will decide. Now just remember, there's not a lot of time for us coaches on that first practice, so your player doesn't get the evaluation and the looks that I feel they deserve, but it's the best that we can do with the situation that we have right now. So if you're injured, if you can't come to any of the tryouts, if you're just busy and you can't make anything, then the only other option is to come out to our first practice, which has to be cleared by the coaching staff, to come out to that first practice and have a tryout for that practice. Now, the only issue you run into is by the time that practice, our first practice, probably 90 to 98% of the team is already chosen. And so as you come onto the ice, you're extremely limited with your opportunity and the positions that are open at that time. So I just encourage everybody to come down to the evaluation and get on the ice and do whatever you can to be evaluated if the spring is something you want to is something you want to participate in. Now there's just too many kids to do that, and so we have to have a fair evaluation process. So what I would say, the best advice, what I would say to do is do whatever you can to get them to that evaluation weekend. Whatever you can do, get them there to make that happen. And if you can't make those, then hopefully there's enough room on the team at that first team skate. Otherwise, what I recommend is that if there's another spring program that maybe has an opening or has an opportunity for you to be evaluated at, that maybe for this year you go to that spring team, because the last thing that we want is we don't want kids not playing. So if it doesn't happen with NA Prep, it is totally fine. You can go to another program that's either closer to you or that has more availability to you. I want to just make sure that I'm very clear that I want your kids to play. And unfortunately, the way that things are sometimes, logistics are, that it may just not be with us this season. I'm giving you my blessing to go and do that, and I'm not sitting here going, you left my program, you left it, you traded on me. No, my goal is to make sure that as many kids play hockey as possible, and that is all I care about, and I could care less who you do it with, as long as you're playing and you're happy. And that's the truth coming from Coach JJ. So I hope that we've cleared some of this up. I know it was a bit long-winded, but I just really feel like the information should be out there. I feel like you should understand my feelings on this whole thing and my thought on this whole thing, and that what we've wanted to do, one of the main issues in youth hockey has been, especially in smaller areas and smaller hockey communities, the evaluations have been extremely slighted because of the small townness and the good old boy, I know you and you know me and we're buddies, our kids play soccer together. And I think a lot of our kids have been misplaced in the areas, and I think we've left a lot of kids out who may have deserved to be on those teams, but because the coach is a friend of a friend and they're a friend of a friend, that player is out and experiencing something that he might not have had to experience had evaluations and had the picking process been fair. I'm coming from that as experience, as a player, as a young kid. I didn't have parents that were involved with all the coaches, so there was times where I was left out of on certain tournament teams, on certain things, until they found out, or until I earned my opportunity, my spot. But I wasn't allowed to earn that spot because there were so many politics on top of that closed doors for me. So I don't want any doors closed for the kids that are in our program. I want everybody to come to our program with a 0 across the top of their forehead, and as they skate, everything they do is evaluated and their evaluation number goes up. And I want kids to always understand that I have to earn everything that I do, everything that I receive in my life, in hockey, in school. I have to earn, and it doesn't matter who my parents are, it doesn't matter who any of that is. I have to do this on my own, because at the end of the day, they're the ones out there skating. At the end of the day, they're the ones in the classroom. They're the ones playing soccer. They're the ones hitting baseballs. And I just want to make sure that it's their opportunity. And I think the more we put these positions and get our kids in these scenarios, they become very resilient and very strong, very focused, and they have a better understanding on this whole entire process. I hope I've shed some clarity and some light on this issue so that you totally understand this process and are not caught off guard with it. Please email me, text me, whatever it is. I'm happy to talk through it with you. But I am going to start posting all these videos on the main questions that parents have been asking, just so you get a full, clear understanding. And I know some of you guys think that you bother me when you call me, and sometimes you do, but oftentimes you don't, and I enjoy talking to parents, so I don't mind doing that. So feel free to pick up a phone, email, and I will definitely get back to you within 24 hours of your call. So thank you very much. I will talk to you guys later.